Alright my friends, how you all doing? And welcome back to the channel and another episode of our Planet Zoo series, Hyland Zoo. And today we get cracking with our first animal in the brand new African area that we begun last episode. Speaking of last episode, my friends, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it above right now for you to go and get caught up. We began last episode and the new African area by building sort of the centre point, so to speak, that is the Maasai Cafe. So feel free to go and check that out, my friends. But today we welcome the first animal in the new area, and it's that of the Aardvark. It's not one that we talked about last episode. Some might be disappointed because I was talking about lions, giraffes, zebras, and yeah, we settle on an Aardvark. But the reason for this is, this tends to happen a lot, that I was building, I was creating, I was putting stuff in, and then a lovely little area just kind of worked its way in for me, and I thought that would be the perfect area for a certain animal, and it just so happens the Aardvark is the animal that I was thinking of. We'd done the Chinese pangolin recently that didn't require the biggest of habitats, and so there was a nice little area over near the Formosan bears, and I thought, oh, that'll fit in there quite nicely. Now, with that, it was way too big. It was, you know, it's basically two times as big as it needs to be. It's massive overkill. I thought I was going to be able to do exactly the same thing where the Aardvarks were concerned, and the answer to that would be no, I couldn't. This actually needed to be quite a large enclosure because these guys require quite a lot of space, and I was really surprised at that. You know, you're going to see the habitat come together. The majority of this habitat is exactly, you know, in the live section will look exactly as it does in the speed build. I haven't had to change much. A few little colour changes on the fence, but that's about it. I've had to remove a couple of the rocks inside the habitat because these guys required a bit more space to walk around, but other than that, what you see in the speed build is what you get when it gets to the end. I do a little bit of work sort of off cam on a couple of little areas, mainly sort of like the backstage areas that we'll take a look at in the live section of today's video as well, but mainly what you see in the speed build is what you're going to get when we get to the end and you get to see it in all of its glory. My friends, today's episode is the last episode of us building for a couple. Episode 20 will be a zoo so far episode. I'm hoping that that will be out on Sunday. They're a lot easier to make because I don't have to do much for those episodes other than turn up, walk around the zoo, show you what we've done and sign out. So yeah, with a bit of luck you will get that. So this week will have been a good week. 3 episodes of the build on the channel this week, and a lot of that, ladies and gents, is because I'm enjoying this so much. I think this and Football Manager are the only games I've been playing recently. I haven't touched anything. I'm enjoying both so much that I haven't touched anything else. I'm doing series for both of those games. The Football Manager stuff is, of course, over on my football channel. But yeah, I'm just absolutely loving this game. I think it's brilliant. I don't know if anybody else feels any differently, but for me personally, absolutely loving it. The fact that I get to sort of, you know, flex my creative juices, so to speak, is quite nice. It's something very different to what I usually do, as you guys all know. So yeah, I'm absolutely loving life building Hyland Zoo, and I do think that the build is really starting to come together now, especially as we've started this new area. So we essentially have 3 areas of the zoo now that we're working on, which is really good for me because, you know, when I only had one area, then it was a bit like, oh, I really need to start something new, because you can't consistently always keep thinking about the same thing because boredom can set in. It gets a bit mundane looking at the same pieces, looking at the same colours and the same animals. So it is quite nice that we've sort of got the tropical sort of African area, we've got the Asian area, and we've now got the you know, the African plains area. Now I have started to make a note of you know, a lot of the animals in the game and the sort of areas that I think that they are going to fit. Obviously the Aardvark, it's an African animal. It was always going to fit in this area, and just so happens that the perfect little spot opened up. Now I don't know, obviously the next, you know, 9 episodes after next episode are all going to be builds. They're all going to be to do with habitats, and they're all going to be to do with buildings. I would imagine in the next 9 episodes as well that the train will probably come into play. I spoke about it in the last episode. Obviously, if you haven't seen that yet, feel free to go check it out, and you'll see in the live section I talk about a train loop that we might put in the African area. So that might come in the next few episodes. I'm really not sure yet. I guess we'll have to see how the habitats come together, but definitely want to do the lion in the next few episodes. I think that they're an animal that have been asked for quite a lot by you guys. They're going to fit in this area perfectly, and one of the reasons that we built the Maasai Cafe was so that we could have a couple of viewing areas, and one of those viewing areas was going to be dedicated to the lions. So I think that is definitely a must to get done in the next few episodes. The giraffe and the zebra will probably get done in the next few episodes, but I'm just going to run through sort of like some animals that obviously are in the game, where I see them fitting in. And then you guys can let me know in the comment section, if these are animals you would like to see, coming up in the next sort of like 9 episodes. And I say 9 because obviously episode 20 is a Zoo So Far episode, and then we'll have 9 episodes, and then episode 30 will be a Zoo So Far episode. So that's kind of the way I'm working it out. So the way I've separated it, ladies and gents, is as follows. So we've got the orangutan, the Bengal tiger, the Indian elephant, and the Indian rhino. For me, I see them sitting in the Asian area, what we've got now, that Asian area. There is going to be a secondary Asian area, which is, dedicated to some different stuff. I'm going to go through those in a moment as well. So of those 4, let me know if you'd like to see any of those in the next few episodes. I know that the orangutan and the Indian rhino will probably definitely be asked for again, because they've been asked for already. But I see those fitting in that area that we've got at the moment. I don't know if you guys agree, but I think that they fit in with the Asian area we've got at the minute. My secondary Asian area, which is an area that I would have to start because we don't have it yet, so I'm not sure if it would happen in the next 9 or so episodes, but I've got the snow leopard, the red panda, the giant panda, and the Japanese macaque. Now I see that as a slightly separate area to the others. They're probably not. All it is that the Bengal tiger, the orangutan, the Indian rhino, they're more tropical for me, and then the Indian elephant, obviously, it's just a bit more tropical, whereas the others, it's more of a colder climate. I think that's how I'm sort of separating them. So I've got those as well. I know someone's asked for the snow leopard already, but I have a very particular idea in mind with the snow leopard, a bit like how I do with the Bengal tiger. It's one of the reasons why I've been holding off doing those exhibits. There is another one that falls in to the Asian bracket, but I'm not sure where to put it, and it's the camel. The camel that we've got in the game, that's from there as well. So I'm just really not sure where to put that. Now we move over into some other stuff. Now we've got the tropical sort of African area going on. There's still some animals left in the game that we could do. Now the bongo, which is sort of like the deer family, we've got that could go in. I'm kind of feeling like that could go in nearer the Okapi. I think that would be quite a nice addition over there. We've also got the mandrill, which I did attempt way back when, but just couldn't get that going on next to the gorilla kingdom. We've got the chimpanzee as well, and then we've got the bonobo, which is sort of another sort of member of the ape family, but I'd probably pick either that or the chimp. I'd pick one or the other. I wouldn't have both. So we've got those guys as well. As I've already said, the bongo, I kind of know where I want to put that. And then as far as like tropical is concerned, there is still one that's sort of out on its own that we've been speaking about forever, and that's the tapir. Now I was going to put that over near the Okapi, but if I'm going to put the bongo over there, then I would need a completely new area for the tapir. Now I am thinking about the tapir going in front of the visitors centre, not right in front of it, but I would create a sort of area there, because that area in front of the visitor centre is what splits the new African area, the old African area, and Asia. There's like a little spot in the middle that sort of splits all of those areas, and so that could be perfection to put that in there. And then we come to sort of like the African animals, ladies and gents. We've got the buffalo, we've got the African elephant. Now I'm either going to do one or the other where the elephants are concerned. It's either going to be the Indian or the African. I'm leaning towards the Indian elephant because there's less Asian animals than there are African, so I will throw that out there for you. We've obviously got the wild dogs, the wildebeest, the cheetah, the ostrich, warthog, gemsbok, the sable antelope, hyena, springbok, gazelle. Obviously I've already mentioned the lion, the giraffe, and the zebra. So yeah, there's so many animals. That's what I was saying last episode, that this area in the zoo is just dominated, really, the game, the amount of animals that there are from that area. Now there are animals that I haven't mentioned on this list, the lemurs for instance, but the lemurs, I have a very, very particular idea with what I want to do with that. Also, all of the bugs, we still need to do an insect house, and again I've got a very particular idea and I've got a way that I want to do it. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see basically what I come up with that. But of all those animals, my friends, I hope you sort of were taking a list. I hope you was noting them down. Let me know of those animals which ones you would be most excited to see in the next 9 or so episodes after the next Zoo So Far episode, because obviously it will give me a little bit of time for you guys to get it into me if you start writing it in the section on today's video, the comment section on today's video, because obviously I've got a Zoo So Far to do next time, a very easy episode to make, and then after that I can crack on with some more building. So yeah, if you get your suggestions in, you never know, your animal might be the next one that gets put in the zoo, because we're getting to that point now where a lot of the animals that you guys are requesting, are the ones that are going to get built. But anyway, let's just jump back to the speed build for a minute. You're going to see, obviously, we're sort of getting to probably about the halfway point of the build this time. It's a lot of the detailing now on the hard shelter, making sure that it fits in with what we want to be happening in this area, and then really the majority of today's episode is all about that hard shelter. The exhibit itself was a very, very easy one. Like I say, didn't require too much foliage, and didn't require too much terrain editing or any of that sort of stuff. So yeah, really easy. So yeah, the majority of today's episode is just detailing the buildings, but all this detail is what brings life to the areas in the zoo, ladies and gents. So yeah, it's brilliant stuff. I just want to say, I can't believe that we are 19 episodes into this build already, and I didn't really know how the second channel was going to play out for me. It was kind of put in place because I'd got to a point with my other channel where it's very sort of regimented, the way that it has to be, because of the way football is. I talk about the Premier League and things like that, so it has to be really regimented, that channel. And I just wanted something where I could be a bit looser and just chill out a little and just enjoy the creative process a bit better, and just play some games that weren't to do with football. And I've got to say, not only is the game fantastic, but the community that we seem to be putting together here has been just quite brilliant. In the last video, someone left a comment saying that they had made their way over to the video and found me because of a comment that someone had left on Reddit saying that you need to go and check this zoo out. Now, I don't have Reddit, I don't go on Reddit, and it amazes me that someone has been and watched my series and then felt the need to link it on a platform so that other people can come over and watch my videos. I'm still blown away by the love that I get on every single video, the amount of comments I get, the likes, the views, the lot. It's been sensational, and if we carry on at the rate we are, we'll hit my next little mini milestone in no time at all. Obviously, the next sort of mini milestone on this channel will be 500 subscribers, and we're sort of 350 odd plus. So yeah, it won't take long if we carry on in the way we are. I was talking last episode as well. I guess I should just use this as a bit of time to talk to you guys. But I was talking last episode as well about other series to do with Planet Zoo that could run alongside this one. Obviously, a realistic build was one that we were speaking about. There was also the one where I was going to do recreations of just certain exhibits and things. But I just want to throw another one out there with you guys as well. Now, as you all know, I've been talking a lot about going live either on Twitch or through YouTube eventually, with this game, to do all those little gap fillers where this zoo's concerned, so you guys could watch along and all that sort of stuff. But someone also said that why didn't I, think about, going live like sooner and, doing a series that's live. And I kind of really like the idea. And I thought to myself that we could do a series that's just like a live build series. We get the community involved. You guys could suggest stuff in the comment section. We get going. And not only that, is I could throw it out to you guys, the people that play the game, to maybe create some stuff that could go in the zoo. Not like exhibits or, things like that, but maybe little signs, little statues, the little bits and bobs that go into the zoo. Maybe you guys could make them, stick them on like the workshop or whatever for me to download, and then they get placed in the zoo, a bit like Stan Wolf has been doing with his Pine Creek. He's been using a lot of stuff on the Steam workshop and then giving those guys a shout out in the videos, and it's really sort of helped them, like Ricey, for instance. She creates a hell of a lot of fantastic stuff. I think she's actually got a series going on YouTube now as well, but she created a lot of the custom fonts that I've used in this zoo and stuff, and just a phenomenal sort of creator. And I think it would be a great thing to do, is have a zoo where you guys get involved with your items, we throw them into the zoo, and then I give you a shout out. And then if you are a YouTuber or a streamer or anything like that, every little helps at the end of the day. If the community stay together and we support each other rather than break each other down, that's how you build up a better community. And I've always said it's better to build people up than break them down at the end of the day. So it could be an idea. Essentially, it's a long-winded way of saying a live series could be an idea that we do as well in the future. But yeah, my first thing though is to potentially get a second series going where it's a recreation series, whether that be just habitats or an entire zoo. But for now, I'm absolutely loving Hyland Zoo. I'm having so much fun. You guys seem to be really loving it as well. And it's just been an absolute joy. My friends, there's not long left of this speed build in today's episode, so I think what I'm going to do is hush my gums, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy the rest of the build, and then we will be back for a little live section on today's video where we can take a look at this in all of its glory. So my friends, enjoy the rest of the speed build, and I'll see you real soon. And so, my friends, here we are in the live section of today's episode, and this is it, the Aardvark enclosure, the habitat. It's looking very, very nice, and we come to it just as the keeper's about to pay it a visit and put some food in there. Obviously, there's little bits and bobs I've done off camera, the stuff you don't really need to see, but the majority of it that you did see in the speed build has remained the same. I've had to change a couple of little bits of rock placement in the middle because these guys actually require a hell of a lot of space, and we are literally right on the cusp of it. They've already got jiggy, they've already had a baby, so we've already got a little one running around. It's uber cute, it's unbelievable. But yeah, I'm really happy with this build. It's the first animal in the brand new African area, so you know, it's a special one at the end of the day. I see this little plot of land here, and you know, after I'd put this in, which obviously was done off camera, but after I'd put that in, I see this little plot of land here, and I thought, oh, we could do something similar to what we did with the pangolin. Trouble is that these guys require twice the amount of space as the pangolin, and I didn't check, and I didn't realise that. So there was a lot of moving and shaking to try and get this to fit. It's one of the reasons why this hard shelter, as big as it looks, it's required, it's massive, because you know, like if I take a look, 93% the hard shelter, so it's not even 100% you know, for what they need, but it services the 3 animals. But let's take a quick look at this exhibit before I move on and show you some of the other little bits and bobs that I've been doing off camera. You will notice there's no visitors in the zoo, and that is because I wanted you guys to have the VIP treatment next episode when we do a Zoo So Far episode. I want to be able to walk around the zoo and show you everything that we've managed to achieve to this point. Now, what I am going to do, ladies and gents, I hope you don't mind, I'm going to pause it. I always pause it because I get loads of little messages going off and popping off, and I just can't keep up when I'm, you know, the game's on play and I'm trying to show you guys stuff. So let's do it as if we were going to walk up. So you'd walk up to the new African area, you'd see the restaurant or whatever, but you'd think, nah, sod that, I want to take a look at an animal first. So yeah, you would come along here, and I will say from sort of guest level, which is about here, the back building's hidden quite well because of this beautiful elephant grass that we've decided to put along the back of the building. This one does stick out, but a lot of that is because these guys don't like a lot of plant coverage. I thought they would like a bit more, but no, they didn't, so decided against it. But yeah, very custom wall. I think it works really well. You'll notice a slight colour change there, very, very subtle from what we did in the speed build. You got educational stuff here. I want to do them, make them look slightly different where this African area is concerned, so we're probably going to go with this sort of design. We walk up here, you could have got another little viewing area here, that's the little entrance into their hard shelter. Then you carry on walking up, and then we've got another little area here. We've got a nice little wall, trying to keep it all uniform. That's one that looks a bit more familiar to what we've been doing around the zoo. And then you'd come up here, and then yeah, you'd be able to see them in all their glory in the hard shelter. As you can see, there's a couple of them in there right now, and one of them smashing a box about. Little destructive sod that he is. But yeah, I absolutely really love these. They've got a great character. I don't know if I've already said, but they've got Jiggy. We've already got a baby. He's ridiculously cute, and yeah, great stuff. Absolutely love it. So that's that. That's the Aardvark. I think we can all agree it's a lovely little habitat, and it's a great starter for the brand new area, you know, the plains, the African area that we've got going on up here. Just because I'm doing this right now doesn't mean I'm going to be doing justice. Obviously, we've got plenty going on over here. I've got big space here to fill. I've got room in here to fill. The Asian area is over that way. There's loads to do. So don't worry, just because I've started the African area doesn't mean I'm going to forget about the rest of the zoo. There's plenty coming up where that's concerned. I will say one thing though, this roof design is a pain. Look at that flickering every time I'm over here. So what have I done since last episode that you guys don't know about? This is all done. This is all finito now. We got this put in. It wasn't here last episode because I wasn't sure on how this quarter, these quarters, these staff quarters over here were going to work out. I'm thinking about replicating these trees along this wall as well, just to kind of give it a little something. You walk up here, ladies and gents, and you will see that all the planting's done. I've changed the flooring up here to this lighter wood. I am considering doing this concrete over the top of this white wood and this, but I'm not sure yet. I quite like the change in the colour tones and stuff. All the planting's done all around here, and all the planting's done all over there. It's all beautiful. I've still got to do a few little touch-ups inside. I want to put signs for like toilets and things like that in there, but most of the work that I've been doing off camera is for the staff quarters for this area, or at least the beginning of the staff quarters. So we've got this staff only rope here, a bit different to what we've done in the rest of the zoo. I think it looks quite nice and it fits the area really well. We've got some nice trees, nice tree coverage, and then the staff would come through this door, and then behind here we've got our power and water in this building and a staff quarters in there. As you can see, Mr. Mechanic is doing his job and he's taking a good look at them. You come up here, around here, and this would be how you get into the Aardvark's enclosure. You know, we've done some nice planting here. We've put a tree in there just to cover it all up nice, so that, as we've already seen, you can't really see it. It all sort of disappears. So yeah, it's coming along really nicely. And I think if we just take a look from sort of this angle, you can see what a beautiful space it is actually starting to become. Now, I've made the decision that the lions are going to be here and the giraffe and the zebras are going to be on this one. So one of the next habitats I make over this area, whether it's next episode or not, will be the lion enclosure. It's going to peel off of here. It's going to come along here. We're going to have some path that comes off there, and that's going to be like a troughed you know, overlooking sort of viewing section, a bit like we've got with the bears. It's going to go up. It's going to go along. The back of it is going to be quite a high wall. Because we're going to change all the terrain around here, and then the lions' quarters are going to be up here. Going to be quite a big building, and you know, we're going to do staff quarters so that they link in with the giraffe and the zebra houses that are going to be sort of up this area. These two exhibits are going to probably be quite big, but there's going to be multiple viewing areas where they are concerned. I've already started putting the planning in for that, but yeah, we've got loads and loads of stuff to do. Like I've already said, this is the African area. It doesn't mean just me we're going to do that. We've got this big area here to fill in, this area here. We've got Asia over here, the tigers going in here. I've got loads to do. There's loads of animals we could do. But next episode, we ain't going to be doing any animals. I've got a few things I want to touch up before now and then, but it will be a zoo for so far episode, and we're going to walk through the zoo. We're going to take a good look at everything that we've achieved to this point, because 20 episodes in is quite far, but we are still nowhere near finished. So really interesting and lovely old job. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit play, and I'm going to let you guys enjoy the Aardvark, why I just sign out on today's episode. So my friends, thank you for joining me again. Really hope you enjoyed the habitat build, first of the brand new African area. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and continue to let me know which animals you want to see. Obviously, I know the tapirs are very high up on the list, as are the lions, as are the giraffes, and as are the hyenas, because 3 people, believe it or not, requested hyenas after they see last episode and they see this area going in. So my friends, I will keep it all in mind. It won't be happening next episode. It'll be happening in a couple of episodes time, because next time you get the VIP treatment. But my friends, if you're new to the channel, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's the best way to support me in the channel. Drop a like on the video if you've enjoyed, and hit the bell notification button to never miss an episode. But from me and the Aardvarks, you make sure you're staying extra, and I'll see you next time.